The reign of the Umayyad Caliph Abd al-Malik bin Marwan. It is an octagonal structure. It is both, this structure, is original because it is both solid and flexible in the same time. Three main structures, octagon from the outside with four entrances in the four direction of the compass. It means that it has no main entrance, so you can enter through any gate. Now it is only, the western gate open. There is an intermediate octagon from the inside, 8 piers and 16 pillars. There is a rotunda around the rock that consists of 4 piers and 12 pillars. Drum above these pillars and capitals, and there is a dome, or 2 domes, let's say. The outer dome that is gilded, we all see it, and the inner one that is decorated. And these 3 structures are connected to each other with wood beams. The Umayyads, when they built the structure, they didn't mention why they built it. So if you ask Muslims now why this structure was built, they will tell you, okay, their answer will be, it is to commemorate Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. So from my point of view, no, it is a very limited, marginalized, let's say, answer. So this structure is wider and bigger than Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj is one of them. Muslims or scholars studied this structure and analyzed it and said, in order to understand, why this structure was built, we have to look at the location, architecture, and decoration and calligraphy.
Can I just say something over here? This location is sacred to Muslims because Isra al-Mi'raj, so that is not it is the all-encompassing, and yes, it might be one part, so that's like
this is because of Isra al-Mi'raj, but things are older than Isra al-Mi'raj, because the sacredness of this rock is mentioned before Islam.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's why, the Muslims, when they came, they built the structure, and housed this in order to house the rock.
Okay, so I get your point about it being very important for all 3 faiths. Is that what you're saying? And then...
No, they knew, they were really aware of the sacredness of this area for those who preceded Islam.
Okay, got it.
So they were accepting.
So this is the analysis, this is what I want to explain, about this structure.
This has no relevance up here.
And what about?
It has great relevance to Jews, which is why Ralph didn't come up here, because it's considered the closest place to the Holy of Holies.
Where in Christianity we see Jesus as the fulfillment of covenant theology, and so therefore with the life, death and resurrection of Jesus, we are atoned for our sins through him, so no longer do we need a temple.
Okay.
So therefore, that's how Christianity.
And my question arose because, when you said this, and that was my question, and maybe the Sheikh was, because I'm not or Brother Muhyiddin will, that the reason why it is sacred to the Muslims is that it is Isra al-Mi'raj. It's not, Brother Muhyiddin, I might be wrong in this, but isn't that the reason why it's sacred? There's
and the rock also wanted to go with the Prophet.
Okay, so then that's why. Before that, it was, for Muslims, this is the only, okay. So this is what I wanted to ask.
And there's lots of questions, and I guess, coming from different parts of the world, we hear the story through our own cultures, and what Hisham is doing is telling us out of somebody who's lived his whole life here and understands it from a very local context. And there is obviously points within Islam where there are different stories or different ways of telling the same story without, so what we're seeing, it's a bit like when we go into certain churches and it's got a Catholic shape, or it's got a Methodist shape, or it's got a Free Church shape. There will be the same conversations that you guys are having, but we will have them within our Christianity because we understand the sacred in a particular way. But another Christian will say, no, that's not right. Or a local Christian might go, this is really important because, but somebody from outside or a different country will go, that's got no importance whatsoever.
So, brother, do you know which part exactly was Isra al-Miraj here, or
No, I don't know. It is what is mentioned in Quran, and nobody knows. You know, those who tell you, you know, it was from this spot or that spot, it's incorrect. Verse number 1, you know, mentions the mosque as a mosque, no particular, you know, spot. So we know that Prophet Muhammad lived in Mecca and also in Medina, and nobody knows exactly, you know, his say footsteps, you know, and exactly he walked this side and in this spot.
because before
So he was here.
So before coming, when I heard the Buraq was parked at a place, where is that place?
It is, you know, in the Wailing Wall area.
Okay.
Wailing Wall area. It is, from my point of view, it's only a tradition because this winged horse is commanded by God, and it is the steed of the prophets and messengers, and it cannot be, you know, just leave them. You know?
Okay.
So it is commanded, and even prophets didn't know where they are going. So just according to the faith, what do you call it? ركبوا على الحصان.
They mounted the horse.
Yeah, and then the horse, you know, went to the area where God commanded it to go.
Is there any connection with this site and Abraham's sacrifice?
Yeah, but you know, let me continue, and if you have questions, I am ready to answer. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, dear. So the location now, it covers, you know, rock. So it means that this rock has a story, you know. The architecture is octagonal structures during the Byzantine period reflected, you know, sacredness. It is not the only example in the country. The main altar of the Basilica of St. John in Damascus, now the Umayyad Mosque, is octagonal. St. Peter's house in Capernaum in the north of the Sea of Galilee, it is octagonal. Caesarea Maritima, the main church, is octagonal. Katisma Church, in the way to Bethlehem, is octagonal, and we have an octagonal structure. It means all those who came to Jerusalem, you know, were attracted by this structure. It reflected, you know, some holiness, especially for Christians. So, the symbols inside and decorations, it is in situ, it is original, dated back to the late 7th century. There